by Dre, play beats by Ben Wade. Looking good in my own brand. Might drop screens and watch Homeland. Might go kamikaze when I'm in the mix. Might just take a pic while this song playing. Yeah.
And action. We're right back at it. Welcome to this week's edition of the inDmix podcast. Wednesday, October the 2nd, 2019. And we got a special guest, Miss Felicia, in the building.
Thank you for having
Miss
me.
Felicia Drake, owner of Grooves of Houston. This was actually supposed to happen last week.
Like 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. But
Yeah.
the rain would not let us be
Yeah,
great.
we got a mini Harvey.
Yeah.
going on.
It came through Houston and kind of messed things up a little bit. I was trying to align your birthday with your so that you could talk about the events that you had lined up. But didn't happen. Doesn't matter. Glad to have you here.
Yeah.
I appreciate you making the time.
Thank you.
I know you're very busy with what you do. Houston, meet Felicia. Felicia, meet Houston.
Hello,
I
Houston.
say that because she likes to be in the background, just chill, lay back. You will walk in the grooves, and you wouldn't even know that she's the owner. And that's a testament to the kind of personality she has. I love it. But you do so much for the city. Grooves does so much for the city. And I felt like it was important to have that conversation with the mastermind owner behind it, just to see how you've delivered over the years quality for the city to enjoy. So I definitely commend you on that. But before we go into that, are you from Houston?
No, I'm originally from Cleveland, Ohio, but I am fully indoctrinated. I'm a Houstonian.
Gotcha.
Yes.
How did you go to school here? What brought you to
High
Houston?
school, health professions. Then I left health professions and started at Prairie View,
Okay.
pre-med. Then I saw maybe like the first baby being born, and I was like, this is not for me.
Gotcha.
Got out of that, came on back to TSU, stayed there for a bit. Then I got pregnant with my son, and then ended up finishing U of H.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So wait a minute, full circle. I didn't know this. So you did the TSU PV U of H tour.
And UHD.
So she gets to claim all. She's an alumni of all of them.
And so we got these homecomings coming up this month.
All the
I ripped
homecomings,
all
you
of
get
them.
to represent all of them. That's
Every last
dope.
one.
That
Yeah.
is a unique situation.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody who's gone to all four.
I've done them all, and
That's dope.
I just got, I was not sure. I didn't know
Right.
the path. I started off pre-med, and that wasn't it. I went to health professions.
Right.
My grandfather was a doctor and a prominent one out here in Third Ward, and I thought that was the route to go. And then
Right.
I realized that was not for me.
Right.
And I fought entrepreneurship at every
Every
turn.
level,
I
probably.
fought it,
I'm in
and
that-
it's just
I'm in
like,
that bucket.
you're gonna get here, and no, but here
First
I am.
signs that you know you're an entrepreneur. Like what?
Yeah.
Do?
So I worked at Chase. I had my son at a year. I started working for Chase, and I kind of moved up in
Shout
Chase.
out to A1.
Hey, man. That's my guy.
Already.
That is my guy. So he was born, and I worked at Chase for a year. He was a year, and I worked for Chase for a significant amount of time. And then it got to the point where, although I was moving up in Chase, and I kind of saw myself as, even retiring there,
Right.
it got to the point where you got real uncomfortable. Just, this just wasn't sitting right. There were some
Right.
ideas. There were some dreams that started to plant. And my brother and I originally started a business. George wanted to do something, oddly enough, called Club Zone.
Wow.
And Club Zone
I
was
remember
Club Zone was set up to where you could go anywhere in the country or even in the world. This was his idea, that you can go and you can take a look. It was like a search engine for finding nightclubs.
Finding out nightclubs.
What you
In
do?
the mix, pretty
This
much,
was probably
Years
a
before
good
me,
ways
right.
before you came along with it. But George never, although he planted the seed, he never did go ahead and nurture that,
Right.
grow it. Out of his seed, something was born in me. I was traveling a lot at the time, and
Still do. We'll talk about that. I think
this
you
was much more
travel. You've
local.
killed me now. Like
No.
I just sat back.
I could not
I'm
get
done.
you. Like I watch you, and I'm
We're
like,
not
how
even
did
gonna
you get
go
there?
there.
I'm just gonna try to figure that one out. I'll call you to see how to get there. But
Right.
in any case, I was traveling, and I needed to have my hair done. And black women, you just can't walk into no hair salon and be like, get my hair done. You can't do that.
You got to fill them out.
Absolutely. And then I was in Mississippi, of all places, at this time. So
my goodness.
I was like, this is a sad thing. I got online. This was kind of, internet stuff was kind of new to me. And I was like, I'll find a hair salon that way. I'll look, I'll see pictures. I'll do this. Nothing. So that's where Salon Zone was born. And so what we did was we built this database. We built this search engine for finding hair salons and barbershops, anything in the beauty industry. We actually had a trade magazine.
So you add your concept with his and you create.
Well,
Salon.
yeah.
Right.
So his was the seed, and it, kind of
it grew into what you wanted it to
right.
be.
And so what we did
Interesting.
is we built Salon Zone. It was for the consumer, but it ended up being more of a marketing company for hairstylists and barbers, and we would do their business cards, their logos. We do photo shoots. We do everything we could to get them recognition.
Gotcha.
And that then I ended up with a trade magazine that I printed from that. So we had advertisers, and we did things like that.
Paid to put their
absolutely
products
yes.
in
And
the
so we were
magazine.
shipping out the magazine to all of the hair salons and barbershops.
Nice. What what time frame are we talking here? Like
we were let's see, probably 2000-ish.
Okay.
Yeah, we were in around the 1999, 2000.
were you in Mississippi or were you in Houston?
Well, I wasn't living in Mississippi. I was visiting. I was there with a friend. I just went to Mississippi, and something had gone awry with my hair, and I was like, let me go find somewhere.
Right.
And so that's how that was born. And then from that was birthed Drake Media. So George and George was the creative person. I'm the talker. I can go out and sell.
You go meet with the
Yeah,
people.
so it became like people in the beauty industry would call us and say, hey, I have this doctor that wants you to do their business cards. I'm like, we don't do that. We only do hair salons, and we only do beauty.
Right.
Then we got this lawyer that wants you to do this. And then finally, like, one day
You're
I got
like,
this.
why not do it? Right.
Yeah, it's like the basic concept is the same fundamentally,
Right.
marketing stuff. So we branched out to do other stuff. And so out of Salon Zone was born Drake Marketing, Drake Media. Yeah, so we went there. And from there, we started doing a lot of church marketing, putting them on the radio, on the billboards, doing print ads, all of that.
Okay.
Which now, I'm so oblivious to what's going on in the market when it relates to that type of thing, because those aren't the ways anymore.
Right.
So,
all that has changed.
Yeah.
Everybody's online now.
Yeah. So it's you don't go and spend. We used to be on the radio every week.
You have to spend the radio. You have to do the fiscal ads. Even for grooves, we were on with the live remote every week. We did commercials every week from day one. If you didn't do that, you weren't going to succeed. Right. Guaranteed. Yeah. So we were on that, and we did not let it go up until last year. Wow. Yeah. So how does grooves happen? Let's go into that. Okay. Let's dig in.
Well, it was never a dream of mine.
It was Drexler's. I was on campus. I remember it was Clyde Drexler's spot.
Yeah.
And
he still owns the building, of course.
Okay. He's landlord.
He's my landlord.
That's cool. That's dope.
He is. And the funniest thing is when we went to have the meeting, to meet with them about, going into the business to get the venue, to rent it from them, I was oblivious, and so for most people, Clyde is like this, larger than life, Hall of Famer and all these things, and so I meet him, but I just never been the starstruck type, even with all the people I meet, know, and it's
so you were calm.
Super. Well, I didn't know, and but one thing I can tell you about Clyde is he is wonderful. You got people that are in that type with that magnitude,
right, and they get it.
And Clyde could have, he could, and that's another part of the story. But he could have put me out of that place 100 times, in the beginning when things were really, really, really wild. Right. So back to how I got it. It was never my thing. So at the time, the person that I was in a relationship with, he wanted to do that.
Okay. All right.
He wanted to do that, and he was working in an industry that apparently has a lot of fraud in it. He was in a transportation industry, and ended up getting caught up into some things. And honestly, for me, I don't believe that he did the things that were claimed, but he ended up having to, go do some time and things behind it. And at that time, he says, "Hey, if this is something that you think you want to do." You
so you kind of you're not prepared for it, but you're throwing in the frame.
$20,000 rent.
Big numbers,
hey, this stuff that But the thing is, I never thought about it. I was like, I'll go ahead and I'll give it a try.
I'll give it a shot.
I still have my marketing company, and my plan was to keep with that. We had a GM, we had people that were there. I always intended to be able to still do my other business. It did not work out like that.
Wow. Yeah. Well, there's always a learning curve.
Yeah.
If it was something you always wanted to do and there was more enthusiasm from the beginning, you'd be more prepared for it. But it sounds like it was just thrown in your lap, and you're under circumstance where you got to, are you going to fold or step up to the plate?
Right. And there was no, I can't.
Learning on the fly.
If you had, so learning on the fly.
This is new. I didn't know none of this.
I'm not the clubbing type. I go to bed at 9 o'clock. So when you said me 10 o'clock today, I was like,
oh,
if it's not a Friday or Saturday,
we're recording in the daytime for the first time ever. Has it ever happened?
Oh, y'all record at night. Thank you guys so much.
But you will make
He told me 10 o'clock at night. I'm sitting there staring at the text like, are you serious?
Question mark.
Because you guys are night industry people. I'm still not that. And so even though that's our business, Friday and Saturday, yes, I am there. I am up. If we're open,
Right.
I am in that building. So, but in any case, I got the opportunity. So I do look at it as an opportunity that dropped in my lap. Something that I hadn't planned for, thought
Right.
of, anything.
What were the challenges? How did you counter 'em?
Every challenge that you can imagine.
That's right.
Like everything that you could possibly imagine
So
went
hot
in this.
potato, you got it, and you got to
and then
take
keep
it
throwing
on.
more potatoes at me every time I look up, it's another potato coming at me. So from the very beginning, I had no money. Like there was no way to fathom paying a $20,000 rent, paying salaries of
For
$7,000 or $8,000
employees.
a week, and then getting liquor in and all of these things. So I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know how I made it happen, but we worked really hard. And I somehow miraculously kept making, and Clyde again, he was so kind. You know,
Right.
he continued
Probably
to help.
very understanding. It was like
Very,
give 'em a
very,
chance.
I mean, so gracious in allowing me to another chance. You know, and his sisters, they work with me as well. His sister's actually my business manager. So if you hear me talk about, you know, who I speak to, you know, she's my boss. I call her my boss.
Right.
So and I think for anybody in business, if you're not an entrepreneur, you need somebody to hold you accountable.
Absolutely. Hold
And
you
she, like, I
accountable.
met with her before you, and she is on my butt. Like,
Right.
please. You know, I was like, this is why,
Nonstop.
Jesus,
You
I
need
paid for
that.
this. But, you know,
Right.
she, without her, we would not be here today.
And
you
I
know?
wanted to talk about that. Who kind of galvanized you or groomed you into, you got to do it this way, you got to do it this way, you got to
Yeah.
hear it. Eventually, it's up to you to provide.
Yeah.
But there had to be people
Yeah.
helping
Well,
you.
you know, it's the thing is I had people that helped me. The funny thing about this type of business is, and this is the thing Denise always told me from the beginning, she says, don't live it. Don't live this business. Now, you know, I don't drink. In spite of you coming every time, come take a shot.
I just put this in the circle. She doesn't drink.
I don't drink.
And see what? So you guys have to understand. She really, truly wasn't this until today. You have the discipline to not even.
I don't drink. I don't party. You know, as a matter of fact, for my birthday, she made me. She's like, "Come on,
You gotta do something."
And she made me come out there and do some line dance or whatever. And I was like, "Ah."
Well, you have to understand why that's crucial, because people want to celebrate you.
Yeah,
All right.
I went out
So
there.
I'm the same way. I love partying. For my
Oh.
birthday, I want to do the same thing. I don't want a
Yeah.
big celebration. I like celebrating with others, but for
Sure.
my birthday, I don't want a big
Yeah.
splash, so to
Yeah.
speak. But it's your friends that want to do it for you.
And
so.
I appreciate that. So the friends, the staff, everybody that's around, so they all support, and that was great. So that's just never been my thing. I'm not the drinker, and especially after my son lost his father when he was 7. So especially at that point in time, I would never do things that would put me in a
in a
position
situation
that
where
I
you're
could,
compromised.
you know, you can't
Right.
control
And
these things,
right,
but.
right.
You know, I'm gonna do all I can to make sure that
I'm
not-
always here and
right.
alert. And,
so you're not
and there
seeing me
for you.
driving intoxicated. You're not seeing me out there doing crazy stuff. I'm not out late at night. I'm not, you know, those are not things. So I've always just been really, really focused on the business,
Right.
and nothing else has been there to cloud that because I'm not doing those things. As much as you guys try to
Right, we
influence
try.
me, you know, and I think I'm doing pretty good because
No,
I've never,
you're doing
I don't
very
have
good.
that peer pressure element. It's nothing.
I'm not one of the best, but I'm pretty good at it. I'll find the scenarios
You can't
where
get it.
you have to make an exception with multiple eyes on
No.
you, and you just do this. I can't. How many times are you gonna try this?
You know better.
No shots, not doing it.
No.
So I commend you for that. But I really want to dig into like challenges. When do you know that
Yeah.
you're starting to come around? What was that victory? And you saw, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
this is dope. You know,
Honestly,
if you can, you know,
so yeah,
it's been a while back.
no, it's all very, very vivid. When I got the place, we didn't have any money. I had a friend. He was basically a loan shark. And I
Gotcha.
considered him a friend. And I needed money. And I said, hey, you know, if we can just get past this hump and I can start making money in the business,
And
we
then
should
we'll
be
pay you,
okay.
right.
So he went on to assist me in getting money. I knew this would be a problem. I knew that.
You knew it was going to come back to bite you.
It was going to cost me a lot, but that's all I really thought it was going to do was cost a lot. You know, it's like
Right.
you can't go to a loan shark and expect to pay 6% interest on
Nah,
money.
negative.
So I'm saying I know it's going to cost a lot, but hey, I'm in it. All eggs are in this basket. I'm going to have to go ahead and make
if
something
this is
happen.
where the source has to come from.
Exactly. So I went ahead and gave it a try. He found me the money, but he found the money in a source that I didn't expect and did not know. And this part of the story is a really difficult one to tell because it has to do with the church that I was attending. And I had been attending for over 10 years. And the church that I helped to build, and a church that I gave thousands upon thousands, not just little thousands, like tens upon thousands of dollars to over the years. And I supported this church. I supported this pastor.
Wow.
And it turns out that after all was said and done, there were some things that went on there that they collectively worked to try to take the business from me.
the church came back around to try to get for not the church, but the people.
They're all in the circle.
In cahoots.
The church, an attorney, and this loan shark were all working.
With the money that they gave you, they use it as an excuse to try to get
exactly.
The club.
So what?
Why would they do that?
I knew them all. The attorney I considered a friend. We worked with him when he was running for DA in Sugar Land. The other gentleman I've known for years and years and years. I considered a friend. And then there was the church representative. I'm going to say that.
We're not going to say that. Without digging in, and I know the questions to ask. I don't even want to delve in any deeper.
But the thing is, I'm going to tell you something. I was very, very much into the church. I'm not so much anymore.
Do you still go to that church?
I do not. No.
I was about to say.
No. And it's so much. It's not.
Generally, you were into the church, and now you're taking it back.
I was into the church, and then into that church in a big way. And so I'm not into the church that way anymore. I'm more obviously my relationship with God is solid.
Right.
But I don't need that avenue to get to Him.
Right,
so right. I've eliminated that. But it was devastating. It was devastating that all of these.
I've got the trust in the people you thought would have your back.
Right. So
even if it's just financially, it's like
yeah,
I expect you to get something, but I don't expect you to take
even the amount that they loaned me really overall was small. It was
right.
it was if I can recall, it might have been $50,000. It wasn't that much for a rent. That's $20,000. But they basically came in with me as though they were going to be partners with me, and the way that they were able to pull that off is when I saw the name of the representative from the church who I trusted with everything in me.
So the guy who brought the money didn't even use his name. He used that representative.
You got it right. There you go.
Wow.
And so I just signed off on the paper.
Like, this is going to come back and bite me. For you to know, you see the signs. You got to be smart enough to see it.
And so I went ahead and but I think that what happens is, and this goes with the industry as well. Look at me, little woman. I'm 5'2" and a half. I got this little bitty voice.
And the voice and all of that.
So I'm probably right off on the surface. I'm not taken very seriously. I may not be taken as a very smart person. Maybe they think I'm just this, woman who they can do whatever.
I wanted to put that in the intro. I'm like, she's so calm. She's so gentle. I've worked with you for years. Yeah. I see it. And then the moment somebody goes astray, you detect it, and that
you see,
Wonder Woman.
You probably haven't seen that.
I haven't seen it.
There's a little demon.
I've heard from Clay.
You don't want to know.
I've heard from Clay.
I don't know if Clay has seen that one to that degree, but there's a little something in here.
But here's what I know: you don't survive this long being nice.
No.
You can't. You have to know what you're doing.
You know what? Fundamentally, the person I am is the person I am. I'm a kind person. I'm a generous person. I'm an easygoing person. I'm all of those things.
Nobody's going to take advantage.
Woo.
No way.
They can try, and they do. They do in a big way. They do in a big way. But in this case, it got down to that. A lot of litigation, a lot of fighting. Ultimately, I came out on top. And the thing about this is honestly, this is the first time I really spoke publicly of this situation.
Wow.
That situation could have totally brought that entity down. Because if I had gone to Isaiah Carey or any of the news sources and told them what was going on, they would have been brought down at that time. But this is what my thing was, because I was so involved in the church that time. I knew what it would do to the people of the church. Because we hold these people in such regard.
High
they're
regard.
God.
Right.
We hold them as the next thing to God. And so
you chasing your thing, but the impact of it to others who look at them.
Yeah. And while all these things are going on are obviously not favorable for this entity, but I did not want to hurt the people.
The people itself.
And it wasn't me doing the hurting. It would have just been the truth coming out, and with that truth, there would have been some things related to money laundering. There would have been some things related to tax fraud and all of these things, because the church obviously cannot put money into for-profit business. And at the time that all of these things were happening, I didn't know
that they couldn't do that.
I didn't know that it was coming from
the church.
I did not know where it was coming from, because it was presented to me as though the attorney was giving
that is
the
so
money.
Crazy.
But they had built this entity that had the name in it that made me just say okay, because I thought it was attached some way to him, like
this is coming from another source.
Yeah,
and not really
so I did it just not the way that they put it all together and framed it, and it turned out to be where at the end of the day, there would have been a lot of people that would have really been affected by that, by seeing this.
I'm glad you took that route. to not
I'm not the
publicly-
vindictive
yeah,
type. You know,
yeah,
people
you
do
know,
a lot of things, but
that and that moment, most people would have to, because you're literally attacking your livelihood.
I just wanted to
your
be left
investment,
alone at that
right.
point. And the thing is I want to pay you the money back. I'm okay with the fact that we're partners in this. I don't have no problems with
But
these
don't
things.
use that as a route to take
It was
everything from you.
they, you know, so I'm backed in the corner. I have this child. I'm backed in the corner. I have no other thing is I let my business go with. Hey, I don't have nothing to do but fight.
Right.
So, you know,
you had to.
I
fight.
went out there. I got been hauled
some would have
$100,000 on you know. So no, I don't even know what that's like. No.
The fighting you, I love that. That's inspirational in itself, because part of what I wanted to talk about was that part of the challenges of being the female entrepreneur. You know, it's male dominated. I don't know another female owner of a club in Houston.
Okay.
Solely. So this is also important bringing it up, because I know you face challenges, and
Sure.
you just went through some of that with what you went through, but you beat that. That had to be the biggest hurdle.
That was a huge hurdle. Then not long after that, the next deal was, you know, my operations manager at the time, who was, you know, my cousin, we had to split. That was a big ordeal, you know, and those are, so for all the things that I thought were solid in my life, my church, my friends, my family, all of these things that I thought were 100.
With money and business, they reared the ugly heads.
And it's something that I was oblivious to, because I would have never thought.
Watch this.
Ever.
I'm going to shock you. It's going to keep happening.
Well,
as long as you're successful.
It will continue to happen, but it won't happen the same way, because I'm not the same. I don't have the same naivety that I had at that time.
Right.
I'm much more aware. And while I am still quite naive, because I believe that people are inherently good because I am. You know, I don't take advantage of people. I don't hurt people. I don't do anything to try to damage others. So it's a really hard for me to look at people in that light. So I get, you know, I have to be slapped in the face with this stuff.
Right.
You know,
and then smartened up.
Yeah.
You learn from it.
And it's a sad thing, because I still, you know, I just can't look at people for what they are, and that's unfortunate.
I do this every day, and again, I don't hold a grudge, because I've actually seen some people who've done me wrong come back to be allies in other ventures that I had to partake in. So I just take it in face value.
Yeah.
I
you know
try
how to
not
deal
to
with them.
Yeah, I don't want to extend too much energy just worrying and you know, having a grudge. It just takes too much work.
I don't have
I'm
capability.
not shocked by anything or any any action that carried out by anyone.
Right.
And if you just, I know you don't need advice, but
I
I'm
always
just applying
take
it to myself.
Hey, listen,
you know?
I'm always open to any advice that comes my
But
way.
you got, you know, I mean, those are real challenges. I'm glad you beat all that. Over that hurdle, how is it running in day-to-day operations now?
Funniest thing about Grooves is
You have the hottest happy hour.
we do have a great happy hour. We've you know, we're trying to revamp and rebuild our nightlife, because at a point in time it's happy hour and our late night. We both Friday night.
Friday night,
Grooves
crazy.
Friday night. It's just trying to examine the market, the changes in the market, trying to figure out the things that we need to do in order to do that. But it's something that you just kind of have to take as it comes, because everything is changing so quickly, whereas nightlife was a big deal. Now it's all these day parties and all the stuff that's going on.
The day parties, the options, the slew of promoters now, you know.
And I mean, I've probably worked with the majority of them,
Yes,
especially
you
the ones
have.
that have been around for quite a while. And for me, I try to maintain good relations with people. So even when we don't work together no more, that doesn't mean we won't work together again. I don't have any problems or issues with most. And
saying most means there's some you have issues with. I want to get into that.
I don't have issues in that way. I know not to
anymore.
You know,
Gotcha.
I'm not sitting around looking at them, wanting to hurt them, trying to figure out how I can go, flatten their tires.
When you see him, I don't even want to deal with this. Move to the side.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Who do you like working with? Who's been loyal or pleasant, or just if they're examples? You don't want to single anyone out, but
you guys I can work with, of course. Clay has been around since the day one, and even though he's not really a promoter per se, but there's some people that have been in the bit around me for a long time in whatever capacity. Clay is one of them. Joe came on with me back in the day when we first started. We had that whole entire Saturday team. We had Little Keith, we had Junior, we had Sid, we had Woody. Oh my God, there was a girl involved. I think Tasha. There was 9 of them. Now Travis. We had 9 promoters on that ticket.
Right.
Joe has been with me since then.
Since that day.
Joe is a manager with me now.
There's a similarity with personalities with you and Joe. I just think y'all mesh like that. Joe is cool.
Yeah.
Very good at what he does. Can mesh with others. Matter of fact, he's so good. People pull him into projects. He's not even looking
he don't know.
for.
Yeah, I'm like, Joe, what are you doing over here?
He's like, hey, I got pulled in.
I didn't even know.
And he'll try it, so I commend him for that.
Yeah.
But major shouts out to Joe. I really want to focus on. You have a lot of successful nights. You even have the crawfish.
These one-offs, the events that we do.
The one-off, they're really, really big.
Yeah.
But the behemoth that Friday and Grooves hasn't been touched for years.
Well, we hope to keep it that way,
Right.
for sure. I'm in this for 8.5 years.
Right.
Come January of 2020, that will be in our 9th year.
Right.
And I think
that's major.
Isn't that phenomenal?
That's major. People
I think
come and go all the time.
They do, and to have never been in this industry, to not to deal
no
with the ins and out of it,
experience,
nothing.
Right.
But it comes with a particular business acumen. You just
Right.
have to handle your business. My dad had these types of businesses, but my dad drank. My dad was into the women. So
Right.
he wasn't handling his business. So that's probably another part of the reason why I stayed so focused. I'm not doing
if you
any
did,
of that.
probably will be.
I don't get
running
high on my
straight.
own supply.
There you go. I wanted to say this so many words. I'm like, she got the liquor everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm like, give her some Henny.
There's absolutely
not
nothing
happening.
there that tempts me in that way. I have no interest in it
Well,
whatsoever.
I commend you for that discipline. That is hard.
And
business.
because it's just not something that I have an interest in. I believe me, I don't knock people. I love it. Obviously that's what our business
that's what
is
you
from.
want them. Yeah, you want them to have
now
fun.
food is another story. I'll eat you other.
Yeah. She's like, I can eat.
Yeah, I can certainly eat, but that's just not my thing. You bring me some sweets or some food,
Right.
we good.
Then it's good to
Why
go.
you don't ever offer me that? Why you always offer me something to drink?
You know what? Okay, now that I know the guilty pleasures, I know what to do.
Yeah, right.
I will do that.
I need you to get all that with that. Okay, but yeah, for sure. It's been a challenge. It's still a challenge. You're always trying to figure out what to do, what to do next.
Right.
And for me, I'm real. People in the market will probably tell you, she's pretty set in her ways. She's very anal about the way she wants things. I'm very particular.
Absolutely, right.
And I think that people know that, and it's not you're not going to be able to come into my venue and change things the way I have a particular staff. I have a particular way that we do things, and while we'd like to work with promoters, that we have no problem with that if they run their business properly.
Right.
We will work with promoters, and for anybody that comes into our space, you're coming into our space.
Right.
You're not turning our space into
Right.
your own.
You don't want anybody to come and change the culture or whatever.
They're not telling our staff what to do. Our
What to
staff
do.
have management. They have people that they have to answer to.
Things
So if
are
a promoter
done.
comes in and says, "Well, do this,
This
that, and the
or
other,"
that.
that manager is on here. Well,
the
what
manager
do you,
says, "No,
absolutely.
this is how we do things."
Yeah.
I love that, and I don't know one employee of yours who has anything bad to say. I love the group trips. You take them on. I think you're one of the few who actually does
They're
that.
spoiled.
You take care of your
try.
staff.
I
Like,
try.
that is dope. I want to put that out there for all you up and comings or current owners. Turkey Leg Hut definitely does it. Prospect Park does it. But you definitely do more than over and beyond. You got the party bus.
Well, when we started going to Vegas, it was just me.
Took them to Vegas.
And then I would see. I think I saw Rob and Steve out there my very first year. They were out there, and then I brought with me, the managers at that time.
Right.
And then after that, we started bringing more and more and more of the staff. I think this last year we might have had 14 of us there or more.
That ain't cheap.
No,
I know the numbers. I know the numbers. I'm like, she's spending some grip just to take
but
care
with
of
that, over the 8 years or so, I saw that everybody started also bringing out their staff and stuff. But I will say this:
you were one of the first. Yeah, I know.
To bring my staff out there.
I was trying to just put it in there, but you're like, no. Again, that's how firm Felicia
Now,
is.
I'm not the first on a lot of things, but I want them to experience. This is what nightlife is. This is what we want to strive for. This is what they're doing
and
in Vegas.
And you show them in Vegas what we can create
Absolutely.
out here.
So they see something different. Even out here, I take them to the fine restaurants. I want them to see what excellent service is. This is what we want to be able to provide our guests. Do we hit the mark every time? No. It's a very, very difficult.
But if you set the bar high, even it exceeds what you have. you just aim high.
Yeah.
And even if you don't hit it, you elevate yourself from wherever you are.
We certainly try. So on a Friday when we, we're trying to work on this formula now. Unfortunately, we're going to probably disappoint a few people, but we've had to make some changes because we do that 75-cent drink thing, and that's so popular. We're not stopping that. So my managers and all else, we're like, we need to stop this. It's just too much. We can't manage all this.
It walks people in that door.
Hey, we're not stopping that, but we're going to probably end up having to stop where the servers are delivering all of it, because they're trying to take food out, bottle service out. See, our menu is not normal.
So we're going to have
some stations.
Have some stations.
We
want to
be able to still provide excellent service. So if you're seated at a section and you have a server, you need that server to come and take your food order, get your bottle service out, and all that. But trying to also run 75-cent drinks all that time,
if you're getting 75-cent drinks, you shouldn't even get service. I apologize. Stop. Y'all are asking too much.
But then that's what we've built ourselves up to. So, and we're wanting to improve our service for our guests that are, coming for that VIP experience, but our servers are overwhelmed with, so we're just going to figure out a better way.
You take care of your VIPs. I promise you. The people will be okay.
Yeah.
Right? What you're giving them will walk them in those doors. The service is almost a lagniappe. It's extra. So if you have to take just a little from them to keep the main money spenders happy, it only makes sense.
We want everybody happy. We look at all of our guests, as important people. But, if you come for a VIP experience, then we need to be able to provide that.
Absolutely.
So, a 75-cent drinks is not a VIP experience.
Not at all.
But we still appreciate our
those
our
that
guests
come,
that
the
like
regulars,
that.
right?
Of
The
course.
general audience.
Yeah.
I walked in last week or two ago, and I saw you've changed the place up a little bit. That's dope. I walked in, I'm like, this Vegas-like,
the funniest thing is, I won't close. So we're not closing down to restart,
You just leave and you come back the next week and stuff is up.
Like this week it was the bathrooms, So the first week it was the front area and the front private room. But, we ended up with that patio because somebody ran into the building. So I was like,
I heard about
rather than replacing brick that's not going to match the building anyway, we opened it up, put a door so we can open that.
The genius of Felicia. Somebody runs in the building. People look at it as bad things. It's like, oh, I've always wanted to do that. Open it up.
Well, here's our chance, So we gotta go. We opened that up, and we have that private room, and we can open it up for a patio. You know where I was? I was in South Africa when I found out this happened. We were open. It was a Friday, so we were over in South Africa the next morning. Whereas here it's night on a Friday, and I'm on a safari. So
on a safari in South Africa, and she's getting called.
So here
somebody just ran into your building.
On a safari, you can't talk loud. You the lions and elephants and everything all over the place. So I'm on the phone like, please tell me what's going on. And I'm texting and I'm sending messages in the chat. Nobody's saying anything.
Everybody's hitting you from multiple. I would imagine.
Well, no, I see it in the chat. That's like, hey, somebody hit the building. I'm thinking it's a joke.
Right. No.
And so and then so I have the cameras. I can see those from anywhere. So I'm looking at the cameras and I'm just trying to figure out what is going on.
On a safari in South Africa.
Yeah.
Trying to just enjoy a little time off.
And guess what? That was my first Friday. I don't take off on Fridays. I never take off on Fridays.
Because we travel during the week.
If I travel,
typically.
I leave here on a Sunday and I'm back on Thursday so that I can be ready to operate Friday. So that was probably maybe one of my first Fridays. And in the 8 years or so, I might have done one other Friday. So that I'm all the way across the world. Building is hit. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if anybody's hurt. I don't know if we are shutting down.
Some of the challenges owners face, man. I'm trying to tell you.
Not just. I mean, you've got from the beginning. Even you've got stuff with TABC. You've got stuff with the comptroller. If you don't pay your taxes, these people walking in your building like the mafia. And I've been through all of it. I've been through seizures. I've been through all of these things where they come in and confiscate your money. In the beginning, when I tell you.
You went through all that kind of stuff.
So the promoters come in and they want to be a part of your business. They want to be a part of your bar. You're having a percentage and all of these things. And when you look at the overall picture and you're an owner, you got overhead you have to cover no matter what.
Listen, you have to, but I know you're particular about these bar percentages. I'm glad you brought it up.
Yes.
I wasn't going to bring
Everybody
it up.
knows this about me, I Kim.
She doesn't give bar percentages. Forget it. You just forget it. Yeah. You have to. And again, your business model is your business model. Everybody's giving it away. Doesn't mean you have to, but it's a trend because, again, I'm a promoter. I never went through all of that. The money was in the door. Steve was
Right.
here talking about
Right.
the money was raking in with the door.
Right.
But there are multiple promoters now, which means everybody feels they can do what everybody's doing.
Mm-hmm.
With social media, they can. The effect of that now is there are more venues,
Mm-hmm.
and to compete against those who are charging a cover, everything's
Mm-hmm.
free. So you can't even be no, the numbers aren't even the same. I'll
Right.
tell you that
Yeah,
to your
yeah.
face. So
Well, back in the day when we started with that first promotional team, it was 9 of them. These people were making money hand over fist.
Fist, right.
They were doing
The
really,
door-
really well.
right.
So it was never even an issue. They were
Right.
paying their expenses, they were paying their talent, they were paying those things, and then they were still walking away with,
thousands,
pockets
right,
of money.
Right.
So, like I said, I know the market has changed. It's just not something that I've been easy to change with.
Right.
And,
yeah, you'll fight it. You know you have to, but it's like
Because I looked at it as a bit of a form of desperation from the venue at that point in time, because it's like
when you do it, right.
because you're making yourself become somebody else,
got
and you
you.
lose your identity with that, and that's something that I felt like it was really important that we did not do. But as I've had to make changes,
right.
and so
you don't do it all the time,
No,
but you
no.
just
We've done a couple, but not when we did Super Bowl, we did
Yeah, Super
we
Bowl.
did that with Mike Gardner
Mike.
and them, and
What
I
up,
had like
Mike?
they'll be here next
he's
week
coming.
for the
He's coming this Sunday.
yeah, I called and
This
fussed at
Sunday,
him
yeah.
yesterday because I know they're over at Spire for
Spire
the Chris
for
Brown
Chris
thing, but
Brown.
I think that he made a good choice
Yeah,
with that.
yeah,
But
for the size and what he costs, he needed
right, and then we're simply not established on a Sunday for people,
For
So when we
that.
did Chris Brown 2 years ago, that
I remember
we
that,
took
yeah,
we took a
with
bit of
her,
a hit
right.
with that one. So
Right.
I think he picked a good venue for that. And so as we begin to open up additional days and begin to establish ourselves as for more days, then we might be able to
Then
do
you
those types
could
of things.
do
If it was a
more
Friday or
days.
Saturday, for sure.
Yeah,
but,
it would've happened easy,
definitely.
easy.
But when he gets here, we'll go and we'll fight it
talk
out a
about
little
it.
bit. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you coming and sharing this, Jules. I did not know. All I knew is Felicia is important in this industry. I just want to have the conversation. So we talked about doing this, and I'm like, just come talk a little bit, and I appreciate you.
I think
making the
I
time.
thank you guys for keeping us relevant, for helping to keep us in
listen.
that place, and hopefully, because we have been a staple in the city even before me, when the other ball players owned the original grooves. They were there for 4 years, and I came in, and I'm here now
Longer
for 8.
than they are.
And the
right.
craziest thing is they had millions. You're like, well, what were y'all doing?
You had the money. I had to
Yeah,
go look from
but-
the church, and I didn't even know I was getting from the
Listen,
church.
it's the craziest thing, but we made it through, and I'm so grateful that the city of Houston still supports us. We want to make sure that we can continue with that.
Keep it. Again, it's a culture that you've created there. I've seen. I go everywhere.
Yes, I know.
And I see the different crowds, so everybody convenes at grooves,
And then they
the
disperse.
bougie go this way, the
Yeah.
relaxed go this way,
Yeah.
the older folks go this way, but you have a unique situation
the
where
demographic is all over the
it's
place on
all
a
over
Friday.
the place. It is one of the hardest things to do.
And they just come in here and have a great time.
Every
they just
time,
come in there and have
no
fun.
drama, no nothing.
Just
so
come have fun, drink, eat.
y'all will see my posts. I
You know?
pregame at groups when I
Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
Once I put him to sleep, I'm in there.
Yeah, we
you
got
know?
we got them wings. The people. I mean, it's like the food.
You get the
I
food.
mean,
You get the vibes.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah,
The
we
DJs.
do it all. We try to make sure that it's a place that people can come and enjoy themselves, relax, let go of their week, leave it where it was, and just kind of.
You work
chill.
a lot, so I know you love to travel and eat,
Yeah.
and I love the fact that you love to travel. I'm a traveler as well. You said South Africa. What other places are you trying to go to?
I saw you in Spain the other week, and I was like, I got online right in there, like, how do I get there?
See, I got you
follow
on
you.
that.
I follow.
You have to go to Ibiza.
I'm gonna go.
have to go.
I don't really care about all the party stuff, but I will go. And then do you know who else I follow after? Xavier. So he posts all this food stuff everywhere.
Food, fashion.
So I'm like, okay,
Food
I'm
and
going there.
fashion.
So it's food and it's travel.
Xavier, I need you on here, bro.
I follow
He-
Xavier's food chronicles everywhere he goes. But about 2 weeks ago or 3, I think maybe I went to Australia for 48 hours.
I saw the pictures. I know you were there.
But
it takes 2 days just to get
It
there.
does. And the craziest part about it, I just wanted to sleep. Look at my eyes. I'm so tired. I just wanted to sleep. And I was like, what else can I do on a plane for,
Right.
17 hours?
17,
but
18
sleep.
hours, right.
And
right.
that was it. Had a great, 2 days out there. It's a beautiful place. Came on back, hit the ground running. back to,
it was nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you travel enough, that jet lag, it happens sometimes, but it
Yeah.
really doesn't happen to me anymore. But I love the fact that you love to travel. Do you have anything coming up? I saw that the silent party's coming back. Is that happening?
It was. And I've informed.
Was?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've informed my management that handles that part of it that we're going to have to go ahead and, unfortunately, and I've never canceled events on my own accord if something falls through, but I don't have the best relations with the promoter for that event.
Wow.
And although
this
I've made every effort to try to, in spite of to having been burned before,
right.
I've opened up to give another opportunity, and this Sunday I find out so happened to be one of my managers was at Grooves on Sunday. He locked his keys in his car or something. He was there doing something with his car, and these people are rolling up for some event that nobody at Grooves of Houston knows anything about.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Yeah.
So wait. Because I just got multiple fold information.
Yeah.
I'm trying to close out. I didn't know this was coming. All right, so you're saying I saw the Silent Trap party, so I just want to plug it in. But you're saying that's not happening because
it won't happen at Grooves. I don't know where it'll happen, but it won't happen at Grooves.
It's not happening at Grooves because something happened this Sunday, past Sunday.
Well, it's not just this Sunday. So this was probably like the dagger in it. So it was like at this point in time, I can't keep doing business with somebody who continues to do bad business.
Good look.
It's unfortunate because the promoters, there was a whole movie about janky promoters out there. You don't want to be that.
That's
and
not good.
for me, I
people
can't
were
let
coming
our
to
brain.
The club and you didn't know anything about it.
Nobody knew about it. So I get so happened that the manager that got it, he said about 2 or 3 cars rolled up and they showed him a picture of a ticket and all these things, and so he was able to put 2 and 2 together on who it was. But I'd already gone through a horrible New Year's Eve.
I usually don't gotta ask who we talking about here. I have an idea.
Well, I was getting ready to take your little headphones and push them. You know what?
Not Vic! No!
Kim, you're being messy.
Put it out there, man. I said it. She didn't say it. Is it Vic or is it Kaz? Or is it Vic and Kaz?
I don't really have any issue with Kaz.
Hey, we got to talk, Vic. That's not a good look.
It's not a good look. It's after, I guess, after that New Year's event where,
I heard that didn't go well.
The event went well.
The event went well.
But
I heard you didn't like how it was managed.
When you don't communicate with the people you're working with, when you put out information that is wrong and you say, okay, this event is going to have all these elements to it and none of them is what we're having. And so
it makes the club look bad as well.
It makes us look bad. And it's not my event. And in this one, though, we were partnering, but they were doing all of the marketing, the promotions. They were putting all that together. So I'm like, hey, y'all, we need to meet. We need to talk about this. We need to clear up some things. We need to make sure we manage customers' expectations that have bought tickets that don't know that these things are not happening. Right. We got to do all these things. And so it got to a point where they just simply would not communicate with me.
I love that you're that thorough. Anything happening, you have to know about. Some people I know owners who like, you set it up, you overseeing that. All right, cool. So
that little demon I told you that's in there somewhere?
In there, yeah.
They saw a little bit of her. They didn't even see her to that extreme, but they saw a little bit of her. And from there, I don't know if they were just butthurt or what, but they just stopped all communication with me. They walked off with all the money from the event. They had the Eventbrite stuff set up with themselves. Right. They had the door money. They walked off with everything.
And there was an agreement to partner.
Yeah, we had a partnership for that event, and they walked off with everything. He would
not
return calls. It's not because clearly something came up, and he ended up on social media somewhere, and I, for the first time ever, responded anything like that.
And the negative. That's why I got light of it.
Yeah.
I kind of let that go. That's why I was so excited when I saw the event again being held there.
Well, hey, listen, I gave him another chance. So in addition to that, we were we were going to work with him on a TSU event. He wouldn't communicate throughout that. I'm trying to communicate.
Let me do my investigation and clear that up. I got Vic is the homie. That's my Niger brother. Shout out to the Nigerian Independence Day that just happened yesterday, by the way. Yeah. But anyway, we don't want to end on a negative note.
No, not at
all. Love
all.
What you do. You never have problems with people, so I know that's an anomaly that definitely has to probably be from his part. Just got to clear some things up. But appreciate all that you do for the city. Keep staying at it. For someone who learned on the fly, I give you your props.
Thank you.
You do great work out there, and it's still one of my favorite venues.
Thank you for recognizing us and continue to
Come
support
on.
us.
I don't have to.
I
if
appreciate
it's
that.
hot, I'm there.
But I thank you for
it's
that.
It's in the mix.
Yes.
I'm gonna wrap off the hot events for this week real quick that I think y'all need to check out. It's not even that much coming from happening in Houston rather. I'm going to shoot straight to Friday. 50 Cent is in town promoting his Branson Cognac, something like that. It's a Texas takeover. He's all over the place this week. He has an event at Spire on Fridays, but y'all need to go to Grooves first.
He'll be at Spire later.
And pregame. 50 Cent might even come there. We don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, everybody convenes at Grooves, and then 50 Cent is at Spire. Hanky, the adults are at Hanky on Fridays. Grown folks always looking for something to do. Go to Hanky, 30 and up. See like minds, and you know where to go. Saturday, day party at the address. What else? Dior Saturdays. Seaside on Saturdays. The grown folks at Belvedere on Saturdays. Lil Keith has his new spot on Saturday nights at Capri Lounge on the Southwest side. Definitely go check that out. Sunday.
We got karaoke Saturday too.
You got karaoke on Saturday?
We got drunken karaoke this Saturday. We got
let
event.
them know.
Yeah, early in the night.
Not the trap karaoke, just whatever you want to sing.
This is a drunken karaoke. We call it. Yeah, we give you a shot when you sing. So yeah.
Oh damn.
Yeah,
That's
so that goes with
setup.
our happy hour. That's a $5 happy hour on premium, so they can come out and do karaoke, get $5 drinks. Then they can go to Dior after that.
I love it. There it is. Done deal. I love the plug. I love it. I'm going to have to check that out. Sunday, Chris Brown is Aspire, headliner marketing group. I think DKB with Reggie and Dre, the Goodfellas are on the ticket. Live House is on the ticket. Bar Guarantees on the ticket. Will with In Crowd's on the ticket. Crazy Party, group of promoters. It's a good thing. I think Mike is doing. I hope I get a chance to talk with him.
Oh, that's Mike's event. That's doing.
That's
they're doing.
Mike.
Okay. Well, good.
He's been doing a bunch of the Chris Brown after parties in the city, so that'll be a good look at Spire on Sunday. That's great, but I'm gonna be at Wu-Tang before that. Wu-Tang is in the city. If y'all know me, y'all already know. I'm there, camouflage, fresh butter Timbs, all that. Gotta check that out for all my Wu fans. We at Smart Financial Center. The Southern and Sophisticated Neo Soul Jazz Brunch with Raheem Devon this Sunday. It's a TSU sponsored event at the Decorative Center in Houston.
I gotta take my best friend to that. She
You
loves
already
Raheem
know
Devon.
Listen,
God,
I
gotta get tickets for that because that's her favorite.
Yeah. I got a whole Raheem playlist. Like that dude is so talented.
That's her absolute favorite.
Tyler Perry's studio launches in Atlanta. I'm trying. I don't even need to take pictures. I just want to go
get
to
there.
that Saturday.
Well, we know you'll get there.
I'm gonna figure that out.
No, you will.
If I could just peek in there and check that out,
Yeah.
I want to do that. But I want to come back Sunday just for this. Try to hit the brunch. Try to hit Wu-Tang. Try to hit the Chris Brown party.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much it of what I want to talk about this week. Again, I want to thank Miss Felicia. I
Thank
appreciate you. Much success in all your endeavors. And
Likewise.
thank you so much. Appreciate you
Thank
coming
you.
out, no
I
doubt.
appreciate that.
Signing out. We out. Appreciate it.